Good taste is for people who can't afford sapphires. I'm not a traitor to my class. I am just an extreme example of what a working man can achieve. There is no rest for me in this world. Perhaps in the next. A good man needs to hold out sometimes. Fortune drops something valuable into your lap. You don't just dump it on the bank of the cut. The medium is secondary to the stories. You have to get what you want your own way. You can change what you do, but you can't change what you want. When you plan something well, there's no need to rush. Those of you who are last will soon be first. And those of you who are downtrodden will rise up. I'm terrible. I'm the wrong person to talk to. I really don't know a thing. I don't know if anyone will ever sit beside me on a plane again. My only two constants are to challenge myself and to try not to repeat myself. I'm not interested in a good man's life. I am interested in contradiction. The best roles you have to fight for. You have to really want to do it, and you have to go after it. If you apologize once, you do it again and again and again. Like taking bricks out of the wall of your house. It's always nice to be challenged. I think it's necessary to keep moving forward. I've always said that nostalgia is death, really, for anyone creative. I personally think if something's not challenged, there's no point doing it because you're not gonna learn much. For me, drama is conflict. I will always love film, the romance of film, sitting in the darkened room with strangers and watching a story for 2 hours that will always remain and never be eroded by television. I'd probably have been wealthier if I had stayed with law, but pretty miserable doing it. For me, it's about being at home and living a life. Taking the dog for a walk, doing the shopping, emptying the dishwasher, going for a run. I try not to think retrospectively. It's important, as an artist, to look forward, always. I do try to take work that involves some challenge. If you approach a piece of work and you're going, yeah, I can do that, then that's kind of a red flag. There's a lot of comedy in intermission, but it's got this depth. It's not comedy for comedy's sake, it's informed by something else. I like stuff like that. I personally think if something's not a challenge, there's no point doing it because you're not gonna learn much. My only two constants are to challenge myself and to try not to repeat myself. Having started out in theater, I feel an impulse to do it as much as I can. What we do as actors is we go through phases where you superficially learn all this information. The best roles you have to fight for. You have to really want to do it, and you have to go after it. It's obvious that if you're going to play a character, you need to amass information about that person and about their environment or their era that they're in, and use as little or as much as necessary. Now, I like the quiet life. I'd probably have been wealthier if I had stayed with law, but pretty miserable doing it. If you apologize once, you do it again and again and again. Like taking bricks out of the wall of your house. I learned long ago to hate my enemies, but I've never loved one before. Lies travel faster than the truth. I have made arrangements with men I trust. If I should die, then you will die, know that. It's always nice to be challenged. Whiskey is good proofing water. It tells you who's real and who isn't. She's in the past. The past is not my concern. The future is no longer my concern either. The 1 minute. The soldier's minute. In a battle, that's all you get. 1 minute of everything at once. And anything before is nothing. Everything after, nothing. Nothing in comparison to that 1 minute. 5 for peace, 2 for truce, 1 abstention. Let's get on with the war. I imagine being shot by a woman hurts the same as being shot by a man. Just a bit more shameful. Get yourself a decent haircut, man. We're going to the races. You strike when your enemy is weak. The only way to guarantee peace is by making the prospect of war seem hopeless. After kids, the desire to improve as an actor remains, but time becomes hugely important. I want to do good work and do it well, but then be at home. I love hanging out with my children, seeing how they behave, and stealing ideas off them. You can't do that if you're in a hotel, on a plane, or a film set. It's not real life. Every Irish person of my generation and earlier, we were raised Catholic and we'd have to learn it in school. We'd to learn the catechism by rote. For me, it's always been about the stories, not what medium. The medium is secondary to the stories. For me, acting is not intellectual, it's instinctual. But it's always really useful to have all of the research. It's your kind of due diligence to do that. For me, it's about being at home and living a life. Taking the dog for a walk, doing the shopping, emptying the dishwasher, going for a run. I always think it's a sign of a truly gifted director when they can move seamlessly between genres. I come from a long line of teachers. Not only did I not go into the family business, I had an aborted law career and I played in bands. Disco Pigs was my first professional acting experience. I don't care if people perceive me as always selling out because I'm doing a studio picture. For me, the whole thing is you should be diverse in your choices. That's the beauty of being an actor. You should be able to do that. I don't do karaoke. You know how some people don't like massages? They don't like massages. I don't like karaoke. I don't have a burning passion to live in America per se, but I would certainly like to work there. I don't know if anyone will ever sit beside me on a plane again. I don't think they'd ever make a movie about Chuck Baker, but I'd love to play Chuck Baker. I imagine being shot by a woman hurts the same as being shot by a man. Just a bit more shameful. I know I'm old-fashioned, but I don't want to bring out a fashion line. I don't want to bring out an album. I just want to do the work as best as I can, and if that affects change for somebody, then that is great. I don't want to change the world. I like being at home with my music and my books. I've done all the partying. I've done enough partying for 4 or 5 people as a young fella. But now I like the quiet life. I like the little bit of distance that London affords me, and I like living in a world capital. I like having the culture at my fingertips.